If you own a BMW, today we're going to tell you about the most important tool that you need in your toolbox. Hey, this is Bryan. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. So you bought a BMW and you have your 10 mil and all these other specialty tools like eTorx and regular Torx bit. But what do you do when you need to do things like maybe register a battery or you want to make some software changes? Well, today we're going to tell you all about the most important tool that needs to be in your toolbox. Now, the tool that we want to tell you about today is Carly. So if you're not familiar with Carly, basically it's a little dongle and a phone app. It works on iOS and it also works on Android, and it lets you do some really cool things to your car. So let's open the app, hop in the car, and check it out. Now, to make Carly work, you're going to need two main components. The first is going to be the software, which we're going to show you in 1 second, and you're also going to need the dongle. If you don't have a dongle already, we're going to have links down in the description. But basically, all you need to do is just take this dongle and plug it into your OBD2. Now that we have the dongle plugged in, it is time to download the app. And as I mentioned earlier, it works on both iOS and Android. So hop over to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download the Carly app. Now, the version that we're going to be showing you today is the full version. Now, there is a light version. It's free and it allows you to do some really cool things. But just so you know, we downloaded this actually in 2018, I guess it was. So we are going to be showing you the full version today. First thing we're going to do, you need to pick your vehicle before you connect your car. So you go over here where it says current vehicles, you go to the bottom and you add your car. As you can see, I have already done that and we are in my F80 M3, so I'm going to connect to that car. Now, although we're demonstrating this on the F80 M3, it works on the F30, it works on the F22, it works on actually most F series, E series, and even G series, which makes it all the better. Okay, once you've selected your car, I'm going to press the start stop button just one time, put it in accessory mode, and then down the bottom, I'm going to hit connect. One of my favorite features is you don't have to go back into your settings. Everything is going to automatically connect all through the app. All right, so at this point, we are connected to the car. I'm gonna take you through the main menu, so I'm just gonna hit back. On the main menu, we are going to scroll down to where it says main features. So what we're going to briefly highlight today is the ability for Carly to do diagnostics, customization by unlocking hidden features. It has a used car check, it has live data, and it even has cool things like the ability to open up your exhaust flaps. So let's start by going through some of the diagnostic capabilities. Now, this is the section that you want to be if maybe you have a check engine light or maybe something's not running right, you have some other issues. This is going to act as a BMW diagnostic scan tool. And the cool thing about it, as you already saw, it fits in your pocket and it's going to save you a lot of money because you don't have to go to the dealer. Now, whenever you are going to do a diagnostics check, you want to make sure that the car is running because otherwise you could have issues that would make the car not run. So I'm going to start the car and then we are going to check for issues. It's going to take just a minute and then we'll go through the report and see what it pulls up. Okay, so at this point, the diagnostics report is complete. I'm going to just shut the car off since we are inside here, and then I'm going to put it back in accessory mode. So as we can see, it says the health status is bad and there's 13 issues, which I wouldn't have expected because I feel like everything's running pretty good. So it looks like there's a couple issues with my passenger side rear window, which we can maybe make a video on how to fix. Let's see, there's just a couple other things that says it's acceptable. So it looks like most of these other things are acceptable, and then there's a lot of things in the green. So it doesn't really look like it's that bad. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit clear issues. So whenever you are starting to diagnose your car, a lot of times what happens is you might have a fluke code, like a lot of these are probably just fluke codes. And a lot of times when you actually reset these codes and you scan again, most of them will go away, especially if you have a BMW. Now, if you watched our video a couple weeks ago, we did that same test on our F30 328, and we had like 100 different codes, if not more, which that was a complete nightmare. But it's through Carly that we were able to determine that our car had a timing chain failure. So next up, customization. If you are looking to unlock hidden features, this is for you. This is going to give you the ability to do all those cool things like change the brightness of your angel eye on your headlight. You can do things like fold your mirrors when you want to lock your car, and many, many other cool features. In fact, for a complete list of all the features that are available for coding, be sure to see the link in the description. All you need to do is plug your car in. It's going to tell you all of the many, many, many options. All right, so right now the car is in accessory mode. We're going to check our coding possibilities, and we're going to do an example, and we'll show you how to code a couple things. But be sure to stay tuned, because we're going to come back with another video where we're going to show you some of our favorite things to code. Okay, so here's a list of all of the different areas where you can code. Now, it is a ton to take in, so we're just going to pick an example. But you can see you have your combi, you have your front electronics module, your rear electronics module, your CSM, which has to do with safety, or if you want to have it so your seatbelt gong doesn't ding anymore, that's where we're going to go for that. You have your ICM, more blind spot and some other things, your FZD, which has to do with the alarm system, the SMFA, which is your seat memory, ASD, which is active sound design, which I kind of want to try something in there a little bit later. And then you also have the one that controls your heating and air conditioning. But for today, one of the things that I think is really annoying is the legal disclaimer that pops up. So every time you start your car, it's like, hey, these are the rules of the road. And I just want to skip it. So what we can do is we're going to show you how to code that out. Okay, so for our example coding, we're going to jump into iDrive here. It's going to say read out NBT. All right, and so as you can see here on the screen, it says that the backup was successfully created. And what this means is it's automatically going to store all of your coding data. So if anything was to ever go wrong, or maybe you weren't really too happy with the coding that you did, you can always revert it super easily. All right, so as you can see here, we have the iDrive startup logo. So mine says M Performance, but you can change it. You can have it say Alpina, you can have it the BMW i. There's a lot of cool different things. Rolls-Royce, and even BMW Christmas, which I'm very curious to see what that one is. But that's not what we're looking for. We are looking to get rid of that legal disclaimer. So we're just going to scroll through here. And here we are. So as you can see right here, it is currently set to on, and here's how easy coding is. I'm just going to click off, and I'm going to hit code now. I'm going to agree to the terms, and this is going to just take a minute. It's going to go through some settings. Now, while this is coding, I do want to mention too, you don't want to ever code any more than one thing at a time. If you try to code like 20 different things, things get weird and things go wrong. So the safest way to do it is just code one thing at a time. It may take a little while, but it's better to be safe than sorry. All right, so right now, I just turned the car off. To be able to know if the legal disclaimer is going to be there, we have to let the car sit for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it back on after it wakes up from the sleep cycle, and hopefully it's not there. So let's wait a couple minutes, and then we'll bring you back and let you check it out. Okay, so we let the car sit for a little while, and we're gonna start it back up and see if we have that legal disclaimer. Okay, we have our animation here with our M logo, and boom, we just saved ourselves a click every time we want to start the car. So that is awesome. All right, the next thing we're going to go over is the used car check. So basically what this is going to allow you to do is see if there's any issues, but the biggest issue it's going to look for is it's going to make sure that your mileage that's displaying on your cluster is accurate. With BMW, it stores your mileage in a few different locations, so it'll check all of the locations to make sure that everything matches. Now, this is a 2016 with 55,000 miles, so I'm not really super concerned, but we're still gonna run it anyway, just to double check to see if there's any issues here. So we're just gonna scan that. Okay, so the Carly car check was finished, and it detected no tampering, so that's good. So it found 3 different data points where the data is stored, and everything looks good for the VIN. And then there's 11 data points for the mileage, and it looks like everything looks good. It says that my car has higher mileage for the year, but other than that, everything else looks pretty good. So let's go back to the main menu and show you a couple other things. Now, this last thing, we're not really gonna go super in depth with. Maybe we'll do another video on it, but if you've ever seen on Instagram or whatnot, people have their gauges on their phone and they can see their boost and they can see, you know, their RPMs and speedometer, whatever they want to see. If you click on here where it says live data, you can actually configure some different parameters, and then it'll actually display it on a dashboard, which is pretty cool. Now, although the ability to have some gauges on your phone is a cool feature, we have two other really cool things that we want to cover before we let you go today. So if you go down to the bottom right where it says features, we're going to scroll up and we're going to click exhaust flap. So this is something that is really cool. So as you know, most of these BMWs have a flap in the exhaust that will limit how much sound is emitted. But with Carly, as long as you have the Carly dongle connected to the car and you have your phone app up and running, you can actually control whether the flap is open or closed. So let me show you what that sounds like. So we're gonna hit this button down here. I'm gonna start up the car. And right now I am in comfort mode. I'll just give it a couple light revs. And then what I can do is I can hit open exhaust valve, and you could probably already hear it even though my microphone is just right up here. Again, if I want to close it, you can hear it simmer down, and then I can open it. So it's so cool that you can just do this from a phone. Isn't that cool, Chris? All right, so that is an amazing feature, and it's all just built into the app. Now, another cool thing is if you go into your check control, you can see all of the different maintenance items like your oil change, your brakes, and whatnot. And although you can change everything with the BMW built-in menus up here, you can do it super easily through your phone. The other huge thing is Carly enables you to register a battery. So again, you may have seen us do a dedicated video on this feature alone, but with BMWs, you can't just put a new battery in and not tell the car that it has a new battery, because with BMW, what it does is it sends the correct amount of voltage for your battery, depending on what type of battery it is and the age of the battery. So it's not over or under charging. But if you just put a new battery in, your car might think that maybe it's an older battery, it's older than it is, and then it's gonna send too much voltage, could burn out the battery and cause other issues. So with Carly, you can actually do this at home and skip the trip to the dealer. There's also some other really cool features in here, like if you click brake, if you have a car that has an electronic parking brake, a lot of 5 Series have it, and also like the X3s and X5s mostly have it, you can actually control the electronic parking brake if you need to do things like change out your brake pads in the rear. You can also, there's transmission settings, you can reset your adaptations and whatnot. There is just a ton packed into this one app. And like I said before, all you need is this little dongle that plugs into your car and the phone app, and that's it. And although there are a ton of other features and there's just countless things that you can code, we just don't have enough time in one day to get to everything. So like I said, stay tuned because we're gonna have another follow-up video. And the more you use your Carly app, if you follow up at the top, they actually have estimated savings on using the Carly app versus if you took your car to the dealer to have a lot of these services done. So once again, my name is Brian. I hope today's video was helpful to you. If you are interested in Carly or the dongle, be sure to see the links down in the description. And if you use Carly, let us know down in the description what your favorite feature is. So once again, my name is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.